Hi, welcome to Novel Knacks. In this video, we're going to talk about changing out a baseboard vent for a newer one. Every 50 or 60 years, it's probably a good idea to update the look of your living room. So the first thing you got to do is remove the old vent. There were a couple of screws in here, pulled them out, and that gets rid of the old cover. And then there were some screws holding the old baseboard to the molding. Pull those out, get that to the side. We're going to be putting a much smaller cover in since we don't really need that full baseboard. And there's some missing molding in here that should probably also be replaced. We're going to be replacing the 5-foot baseboard from the 50s or 60s with this brand new 18-inch baseboard vent from Lowe's. It looks like it's from their Wicker Collection A-Cord Select. Just kind of fit into the feel of the rest of the remodeling within the house. Before we install the new vent, we need to separate the two parts that come in the package so that we can attach it to the wall. There's two little spots here that are holding it together. Just have to kind of get your fingers in, pry gently so you don't bend the metal, and then this tips right out. At that point, we have our back plate that we can attach to the wall and cover up the opening. The old vent was 5 feet long. That kind of made it hard to push things up against the wall. The actual vent is only 2 inches by 12, so this 18-inch one will cover the vent, diffuse the air some, but won't take up so much space that we can't get other furniture in the room. So the sheet metal that is the actual vent that brings the air up into the room has seen some better days over the years. Before we attach to the new cover, it's not a bad idea to straighten out some of the dents so that we can get the cover in flat and flush and make sure everything's smooth. We have a few rough edges that might make it harder to stick the new vent. Metal's pretty thin, so it's really just a matter of taking something to push against it and flatten it out. I'm just using pliers here. Getting that flat and smooth will just make everything else go easier. And there's a bit here that's been bent under. Just going through and pinching these edges of the sheet metal, straightening them out. You don't want to bend them so much that they crack and break off. But we don't want to restrict the airflow either. There. Didn't have to be done, but having everything as straight as you can when you start makes things work a little bit better. So now if we take the base plate, we can see that, you know, because we're putting a 18-inch register over this 12-inch vent, there's plenty of extra room. We're doing it bigger to do some air diffusing. But the very back of this has a lip. So it makes it difficult for me to slide this base plate since this metal was put right up against the baseboard molding. I can't slide that over. So one thing we can do is get rid of the lip. If I take a tin snips, give it a little bit of a nip of both ends, give it a little bit of a nip. We can then take the pliers and straighten this out. You just have to work from one end to the other slowly, bending it down. And, you know, this is inside the wall. It's not something that you'll see. But then we can get this vent cover flat all the way to the baseboard. It's amazing how in an old house there are no standard parts. Somebody always did something completely different than how it is done these days, you know, today. And you're modifying everything you do just to fit. This is one more thing where I don't think in brand new houses they would ever put this so close to the wall. They're out a little bit. There'd be room to actually put a floor vent cover that has a lip around it, but there's no room for that here. So we went part of the way around. Now we can finish. So now that we've folded that edge over flat, we can come in here, pull the metal out a little bit, and we can tuck this right behind the baseboard. Before attaching the new cover to the vent, I thought I would check it out and see if there was anything in there that needed to be taken care of. And looking down the vent, there isn't much to be seen, but I thought I would look a little deeper. Stick my phone down in the vent. Look around a little bit. And see what I can find. So after reviewing the video of what was hiding in the vent, it looked like a head of a giraffe toy that had gone missing a while back. I had pulled off the old vent cover while we were doing some cleaning and painting, and one of my underage roommates seems to have lost her giraffe head. So, miss, I have a question for you. Could you tell me how a giraffe head toy ended up down the vent?
I tried to stop. It just rolled and rolled, and I tried to stop it, but it was just too fast.
A lot of times to complete a project, you need skills, you need to know how to do the project, you need tools, and sometimes you need to build new tools to get the project done. I'd really like to rescue the giraffe. So I have a small water bottle, duct tape. What can you fix without duct tape? A coat hanger. I think with a duct tape and coat hanger you could probably get to the moon. Tin snips. Never cut a coat hanger with tin snips. This is for thin metal, not hard metal. Cut a coat hanger with pliers. So we're going to start by using the pliers. Cut the coat hanger. Using my hands. Straighten the coat hanger. Okay, small water bottle. So I put like 4 cuts into it. I need it to be able to collapse down to get through the vent opening that's 2 inches wide, but still hopefully pull back the giraffe head. Put a hole in it, cap back on. The end of the coat hanger through the hole in the cap. And bend over the end so that it doesn't come back. Hopefully this is enough to go giraffe fishing. Okay, so now that we've made our giraffe fishing pole, we'll see if this does any good. I'm going to try and get it back behind where I think it is. And hopefully not push it any farther back. I have to be honest, this was more than one attempt of scooping and pulling and scooping and pulling, but we now have Mr. Giraffe Head back where he belongs. So now that we've rescued the giraffe head from down in the vent, it's time to actually install the baseboard register. We have an 18-inch register. We have a 12-inch vent. So we will come out here, mark 3 inches on each side, just to make sure that it's centered. Then we can take the vent, tuck it back behind the sheet metal, and make sure it's centered on the hole. Now, this room has a rug. Used to have wall-to-wall carpeting. We're going to mount the vent slightly above the floor so that the rug or wall-to-wall carpeting will fit under it. And to make sure, it's important that this lines up with the trim so that it doesn't look funny. We'll start by putting 1 screw in and then adjusting it so that it's even. It may not be level, but it just needs to be even. We could put this in with all sorts of screws. I'm using sheet metal screws just because, well, they fit right into my drill. and they like to disappear back into the wall when they do that. Let's fish that one back out. So we will put it in here. We'll pick the first spot. And I'm gonna bring it up a little bit. And it's good not to get it too tight. We will check the molding. Molding is sort of level. Could always adjust the pitch to level. And then raise the other side. So it's pretty good there. It looks fairly even. At that point, we got one screw on one side. We'll put another screw in. It's always good to put them in a little bit loose to begin with and then tighten up once you get everything where you want it to be. And now it's solid to the wall. It's, you know, it's no more wonky than the molding. It's important that it's parallel more than level. And, you know, we have a little bit of gap here above the rug so the rug can tuck in. Now, we just need to take the faceplate, tuck it back up into this groove so that it slides back in. And then push it back in so that it's tight. And there we go. We have a finished, installed baseboard registered. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of my content, please subscribe and hit the notifications so that you can be informed when new videos are released. Thanks for watching.